1. All right. I think we're live. It's possible for anybody in the chat. Please let me know if we are indeed currently going live. Let's see here. It looks good. Feels good. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Let's Talk Lions. We are live with the one, the only, the premier content provider for all Detroit Lions news, Dose of Dion. My guy, welcome to the show. Yeah. Yeah. I just have to huge shout out to Dose right here, because this old man named Jay trying to get this working is just the worst. It without Dose Dion, this would not be happening tonight. So seriously, dude, thank you for all your help. Oh, can't hear Dose. That's good to know. Thank you. Let's see what we can do here. All right. This is that's wild. Okay. I got nothing else going. Yeah, so your mic is good. Let me just go in here, check the guest. We'll be better. We'll be better. Fascinating. It should come through on that. Maybe if I can't wait for next year. Fascinating. Let me refresh you and see what happens here. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. Let's see. Dose, can you give me a check? All right, Dose, can you give me a check 1, 2? Oh, man. Can you guys hear Dose in the chat? Please let me know. All right. In the chat, please let me know. Are you guys getting echo? Can you hear Dose of Dion now? I just changed a few things. Oh, that's an echo right there. No, you're good. Can you guys hear Dose of Dion in the chat? This is wild. Dose is really low. That's something. Thank you, Tikra, Tishra, Tisra, Pure. I appreciate that. Can't hear Dose. Don't like that. I mean, why else are we here? It's not for me. Come on. All right, so Dose, what I'm going to have you do, if you wouldn't mind, just maybe refresh on your side. Well, hey, for everybody who's here, the 15 or so of you that are chilling, I'm going to have him pop out, give a little reboot, see what we can do here. Hope you're all doing well coming into tonight. I just wanted to do a 2021 review. It's good to see you guys. Penn Ultimate is in the building. Let's see if I can get this. I'm working with OBS, which has been a little bit of of a butt, but you know. All right, let's see. So Dose is back. Tell me, my friends. Yeah, he can you guys hear him? Let me know. Well, I I'm doing good. I feel bad right now. I feel bad for everybody watching. I feel bad for you. You know what sucks is I've been trying to test this and I accidentally went live yesterday because I was like trying to test and make sure the audio was good for today. Went live like an idiot. It was like, oh my god, oh my god. So then, man, people saying no, they still can't hear you. I don't love that. Barely hear them. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, StreamYard. Yeah, StreamYard's been a real jerk. If we can't make this happen tonight, man, I'm sorry. I'll have you back on. He's muffled. Muffled. Weird. It doesn't make any sense. Got you coming through. Well, while we're trying to figure this out, this is like a teacher in class when they're like talk amongst yourselves and everybody's like, lunch money. That's a good one. It sounds like what we're gonna have you do here is you're just gonna have to stare and then and just talk and they're just gonna read your lips. It's not gonna be lovely. Yeah, I'm actually just very confused looking at all the inputs and everything that I got going in here as to why you wouldn't be coming through well. Oh my god, the fact that you just had to say Skype. Dose. Oh my god. This is when and I just look like a real noob over here. This is good. Yeah. Yeah, no audio from Dose. Dose, I feel bad, man. I don't want to keep you here. If, Chat, how does it sound? Can you guys hear them? This is the most wild experience of my life. Can barely hear him. Very little sound. Man. I'm sorry, my friends. I'm sorry. I'm human. I'm a human being. Everybody's just piling it in now. Can't hear him. Dose ain't got nothing to do. He's got time. Oh, man. That's so terrible. Yeah, this is what I get for bootlegging this crap. Somebody brought me over one of these. It's like a mini HDMI. I don't know if that's working, but anyways, this is the problem with technology though today is there's like 400 different friggin' wires to plug in, and then I don't have any of the right. It's a mess. It's a mess over here. Oh, Mr. Lions fan, I was looking forward to this all day. To this day, all day. And here I am, Mr. Lions fan, ruining your friggin' Friday. Yeah, oh my goodness. I was trying to think what else could we do. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I failed the people. Shout out to all you still sitting in here because because you love us. Look at this. I love you guys. Even though I've let Mr. Lions fan down, he's hanging out. And I'm trying.
I'm gonna turn my mic way up. Let's go crazy. This is not hurting your ears right now?
No, you're not hurting my ears. Lunch money. If you think I don't already have beer, then you're wrong. All right. Well, we freaking tried.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Anthony White, good evening. Thanks for coming in, man. We're having some technical difficulties. What's new here on Let's Talk Lions?
We gotta make it like a college show, man. You gotta get me on the phone.
Yo, that's not a. Yo, I've been trying to figure that out. Doing phone lines, like I think that'd be a blast. It's just a matter of trying to figure out like how to not give out my real number.
Right. You gotta use I think Google Voice or something.
All right, well, we got somebody already throwing in monies anyway. A super chat. Tell Dose he better get to typing. We in here anyway. All right, I think you can do it. It's just quiet. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll with it. Because of a name that I can't pronounce, Saviolato, it looks like. We're going to roll with the show.
All right, I'll turn it all the way up I could.
Oh, can Dose call you and you just put him on speaker so the volume comes through your mic, Jay? You know what? We can absolutely. I think we could do that. Dose, you want to give me a call, man?
I'm down to try it.
We're gonna give this a go for Lions fans everywhere.
So these are the phone lines, okay?
We got the phone line. Yeah, you give me a call, and then what I'll do is I'll end up muting you on your end. This is gonna be the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Oh my goodness.
And I've done some dumb things, man. When I was a kid, you want to talk about creative? Something that we had just watched Braveheart. I was probably like 12 years old. And we went up to the local elementary school, my brother, myself, and a friend. And we had a longbow and hunting arrows. They did not go together. But we thought we were going to play a game that would be hilarious. My brother stood across the field. And this is in the summer, so, nobody's there. And he's firing arrows. And the entire idea was, don't move. Just let the arrows... And I'm not kidding you, man. Like, talk about the dumbest thing I've ever done. It was that, because arrows are landing like 10 feet from us. And at that point, after it happens like 2-3 times, we were like, you know what? This is a bad idea. and it was in that moment we thought, oh, we could have died. Like, what are we doing? Lions. Yo, LFP, thank you for the donation. Restart the live stream. I'm afraid to restart the live stream because we're already going. There's a lot that goes into the back end of it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to mute his video, like Jake Steggert is saying. We're going to mute the old video. You make the call. I'm going to mute you.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if that would be better. No, it wouldn't be better. Okay, I was just thinking through my head. I was like, I can call you from my computer. But I don't know if that would help.
I think it's the computer that's the issue.
Yeah,
It's the computer that's the issue. Man, I bought this computer and I've had nothing but problems. All right, give me a call. I'm going to mute you right now.
All right.
And we'll see how this goes. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Dose of Dion.
Oh my goodness. Hey man, can you guys hear me? How do we sound, man?
How we sounding in the chat? Am I going to hold this phone like this the whole time?
Great. I'm going to take my headset off. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. You can work with that. Alright. There's no echo, right? We're good?
I mean, I can hear you. How does everybody else, how we sounding? You sound great. We can hear him now. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slip you in my pocket right here. Right into my little breast pocket here. All right, so...
Alright, I'm going to pull up your stream. That way I can see myself looking goofy over here while we do this.
This is, I'm like sweating. better than it was. We can hear him now. This is the dumbest, jankest thing I've ever done. But you know what, fans? For you, we're going to roll with it. He sounds great. Dose of Dion, welcome to the show, my guy.
Man, thank you for having me, man. You know, I do appreciate it. We making this thing work. Appreciate you inviting me on the first show, man. It's been way too long. It's been way too long. We got to do more of these throughout the offseason. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. We will we'll make this work. We're gonna come back to it here in a couple weeks, and we're gonna have this rolling the right way and not as dumb as this is. But thank you for coming on, man. It does mean a lot because you are the premier Detroit Lions content creator. And so now that I have wasted so many people's time, so much time of the people, I want to ask you, looking at 2021, tell me, just like, I want to break it down per 6 games, but when you look at it as a whole, was it successful or not, in your opinion?
Oh, man, see, I had to be prepared. You're going to hit these tough questions right away. It's successful. I mean, okay, first off, my prediction was way off. So if you're going by my prediction, no, it was not successful. I predicted way too many wins. But I think there were successful parts to take away from it for sure, especially the way that we played to finish off the season. I mean, what I really look at is, you know, with our past coaches, one issue that stuck out was we didn't close games. You know, and that's always something that concerns me. I see the numbers. We play all these tight games, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but we played a lot of tight games with Patricia this year, too. We just could not close. I want to make sure our guys know how to close, and I know we're young. It's a different situation. But to see our guys learn to close games, learn to finish off games was probably the biggest thing that stuck out to me with this entire season. Because you have young players stepping up. You have guys, you know what guys on this team right now are the players that you can trust in those moments.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen comes to mind, you know, Charles Harris, Amani, and even Goff. Even Goff made the play against the Vikings. And it's those things that stick out. It's like, I can trust you, and the game's on the line, and now these guys got that experience. So,
yeah.
And, hey, you know what? I'm not super worried about the draft position, but we did end up with the second pick, and you can't be mad about that. So,
yeah.
I think if you're not going to make the playoffs, what I saw from our team, just the way that we improved and we found a way to finish, I would say that was a success. What about you?
No, man, I think you nailed it on the head. First of all, yes, this is like a real authentic Lions experience, rolling with the setbacks. This is just how it is as a Lions fan. This is our life. This is our life. So just take it as it is. No, man, I agree. I think there are so many aspects of this game of this season where you look at the Lions as a whole. What did I want? It was identity. It was a culture created by Dan Campbell. And then from there, it was really, I just wanted to see our rookies develop. And so the setbacks with all the injuries that took place, as much as that sucked, as much as that hurt us, in another sense, it gave opportunity to a lot of guys that never would have had opportunity, i.e. Jerry Jacobs, right? Yes. Like, it gave these guys that shouldn't have seen much time on the field a lot of time on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. On both sides, for sure. And like the way I was putting it is like we were forced because of circumstance, like you just said, to see guys. And I even think the coaching staff, man, like we were forced that someone had to step up and emerge with this coaching offensively when Dan Campbell takes over, knowing that it's his first time. Someone's going to show up, right? Someone has to. And it's like Ben Johnson came with that. I didn't hear about Ben Johnson at all up until all of a sudden the bye week comes and we start scoring coming out of the bye week and you start getting credit for things. So even the coaching staff, just guys emerged, man. And like you said, Jerry Jacobs, like some of these guys that got opportunities, Evan Brown, and even the guys that stepped up and didn't play well, I'm okay with that too, because it's number one, you got to improve big time, and now we know. Or two, we got to get a replacement.
Yes.
We need better players here, but now we know, so it's great.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think the whole Ben Johnson thing, very fascinating, because that's something that you put it perfectly. He came out of nowhere. Like, that was a name that I did not recognize at first, and I was like, who is this guy? And then like they started doing the digging, and holy cow, like that is a potential OC right there for us.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think 2021 in an overall, to me, was successful because we had to get that identity established with Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, and we had to see the rookies develop, and we got so much more of that than I even anticipated. Now, I broke it down into 6-game chunks. The first 6 games, okay, we Lions fans roll into the season, and we got guys predicting 10 wins. We got guys predicting playoffs. We got guys getting hyped. And then within the first 6 weeks, I think a lot of the hopes and dreams were dashed upon the rocks of the salty water of the sea. Specifically looking San Fran, Green Bay, Baltimore, Chicago, Minnesota, and Cincinnati. In those first 6 games, there was a lot of brokenness for us. If you had to give one word to describe the journey of those first 6 games, what word would you give me?
Hey, man, I don't know who predicted this team to win like 9 games or something. That's what's crazy, but...
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, it's funny you say that because hold up one second. It's okay. It's funny you say that because I've kind of looked at the season and I broke it down to my chunks. Not by 6 weeks, but I broke it down from week 1 to week 4,
yeah,
week 5 to week 8, and then since the bye week. So when you say those first 6 games, there was like, it was almost like you got some of the promise, and it was like, oh yeah, here we go. But every time you got close, something just happened. Something went wrong. You look at Chicago, you know, the inability to score in the red zone, or turnovers. It was just like, man, we're right there. We have all these yards, and we just can't capitalize. Or we're right there. We have the win in our hands. We can't. And then, did you say the Bengals one? Was that?
Yeah, that's the last one in that little.
Okay, that to me personally, I think that's where, and that's why I was breaking down the 4 to 5 weeks, week 5 to week 8, is because I think that spot to me, I look at it as the Philly game, the Bengals game. That was the ugliest part of the season, specifically on offense. We didn't seem to have an outside receiver, which hurt us big time. We know we didn't have Decker. We didn't have Frank Ragnow.
Yeah.
And that's one of those spots where, like, okay, the Lions, they ran the ball real well, really for a lot of the season. But there was those moments, Philly Bengals, where our run wasn't there. And I think it's because defenses knew we couldn't throw the ball. We couldn't throw the ball on 3rd and long. We ran draws. And getting some of the reinforcements back, I think, was huge. So through those first 6 weeks, I would just say there was enough there to keep you coming back, but we just could not close or get over the top. It was so frustrating.
Yeah. No, and I think that's the word I would choose is frustrating. That's where I sat, because like week 1 against San Fran was such a weird. It was weird for so many reasons. First time no Stafford, like it held so many obstacles for us just off the bat. But then really, as we started moving forward, go to Green Bay, we got to watch that game together, which was fun, and watching the collapse in that second half. But it was Baltimore that the frustration really began to set in, because like after losing that game and that deflation, that depressing way to lose, all of a sudden I just started really feeling for our players a lot. And like, so did Coach. You see Coach, he broke down.
Yeah. Oh man, you summed it up. You said it perfectly. Like the Packers game, we're sitting there at halftime, like, dang, this team, we're up at half in Green Bay, and then the second half, it's just like, what can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, we'll fumble and snap. You know, we'll give up a 3rd and 10. You know, and to add on to that, if you will be out for most of the season, it's like it's just we could not get over the hump. And then I think even Minnesota, you said, was thrown in there too, and that one felt the same. You know, like, oh, we played this ugly game on offense, but we got the 2. We're right here.
Yeah.
The defense goes down that game, and we can't get off the field. You know, it's just like, guys making record field goals. It's frustrating.
Yes.
Well put.
No, that's it. It was just frustrating. And I think even like Steve-O right here, you know, solid comment. You wanted to see all 5 starting O-linemen play together, and we got screwed out of seeing that. That happened before week 1. You know, Decker goes down, and all of a sudden, everything that was prepared for is out the window against San Fran. Poor Sewell gets slid back to the left side. Like, it just was. It was a tough time. It was a frustrating time. And yeah, solid comment from you, Steve-O. Going into the next 6-game stint, it's after the bye, Cincinnati, but that's a part of the first 6. Looking at the next 6, you're looking at Rams, Philly, Pittsburgh, Browns, Bears, Vikings. If you could walk me through, if you had to give a word for that 6-game stint, again, it's Rams, Eagles, Steelers, Browns, Bears, Vikings.
I feel like the phrase, like, I don't know what it would be, like, the reinforcements are coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're on their way. It was like the beginning of that. It wasn't there. And in the LA Rams game, I thought everybody just rose to the occasion. I did. I thought, they put on, they all knew what the situation was. They knew they were outmatched. But everybody seemed to step up in that game until, again, it was kind of a carryover from, I guess, the first 6. We just could not close. We throw an interception in the end zone. You have Donald locked up all game, and finally he breaks through on the worst time to have it happen when you go to the end zone and he gets picked off. but going into the bye week, coming out with Decker, getting Josh Reynolds, which I just look at, he almost just basically fell in our lap, man. He got let go, and it was like, man, you got to pick him up.
Yeah.
And to come out with, a backup quarterback in Boyle and Jared Goff, who was injured, didn't look out right in the Pittsburgh Steelers game. But if you look real close and hard, I maybe I was just convinced of myself. I was like, well, look, they're throwing the ball on third down. Like, and look at the pass protection.
Yeah.
It's getting exciting. Just hoping, that the step is coming. And then having Tim Boyle, now we're starting to see him in the mix, and we just having to lean on the run game. But they were coming. And I feel like it was the Vikings game. It really was. I mean, all this not being able to finish and close finally did it. Someone had to rise, and it was the offense. And we had Decker back. I thought our pass flow was way better. This was when I think the emergence of Ben Johnson and those guys started to come into play. But that was the game where it started, and we saw a lot of good really from then on.
Yeah.
It was perfect Lions fashion to win a game like that, right? To win at the last second, that's just what we do.
Yeah, we either win it or lose it at the last second. So
Right. We aren't just going to go win by 7 or 14. No, it's going to come down to the very last play.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right, man. Also, Dr. Detroit, Dion sounds like he's on Apollo 13. For anybody just joining, we had some audio technical difficulties, but we got it going. Dion's called into the show. We're making it happen. That was just a seesaw of events for those 6 games for me, right? Like, 1 week against the Rams, I'm like, man, we're hanging with the Rams. We're hanging with McVay. We're super tricky. Like we looked pretty good up against them. And then the next week, Philadelphia comes to town on Halloween, and it was the scariest day of the year for me. My mind was blown. I was like, are we a Pop Warner team?
Oh, my goodness.
And then you have Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, I actually live streamed the game. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, we're getting our first W tonight, and I'm live streaming this bad boy. And, of course, it ends how it ends. I don't really want to talk about it because it hurt that much. But that was like it just felt like I was on a seesaw, and every week going up and down and up and down. Definitely. But you could see the progress, I think, that we started to make, specifically after that Steelers game, because that's when Lynn stopped making the calls offensively. All right.
Yeah. Well put, seesaw, man. I completely with it, man.
Moving on to the last 5-game stint, it's Denver, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, and Green Bay. If you had to give it one word, looking at these games, this stint from Denver to Arizona to Atlanta, Seattle, and Green Bay, what would you say?
Oh, man, that's tough. I'm trying to think of something clever here. I'm just not very clever. Oh, man. I don't know what word I would use for that. One thing I would say is I wish our quarterback would have been healthy through that time.
Yes.
Just to see how it would have went. But yeah, I mean, it felt like new life for the Lions. Every week you kind of felt like you had a shot, which wasn't the case in the middle part of the season at all. And especially, when we got over there, you kind of expected to win at one point, and it did start with Arizona, where you blow out Arizona. How did they happen? I don't know. But I think we did something to Arizona, man, because they haven't been the same since then.
No.
They're lost. They're like, what happened? They're shocked. They don't know how they lost to us like that.
Yep.
It's their only away loss of the season.
Yeah.
And that's starting everything. And the way we finished the year, it wasn't all great. COVID still hit. We still had to worry about, depth, and we still have to get some of those things figured out. But the Denver one was, I think it was just worse than it maybe was. The Seattle one, defensively, oh my goodness, that was a disaster, right? And then we had some bad picks on offense too. But
Yep.
I mean, we finished the season real strong, especially with our starting quarterback. And I just love the way they played. I mean, it's just like everything kind of came together, and it's still not, it's still not great, but it came together of more of what we expected. I would say coming into the year, expecting to have an O-line that would pass protect much better. And you pair that with having receivers that, once again, you're starting to get involved. And this was really, I guess one word would be St. Brown. I know that's like 2 words or something, but St. Brown. This is St. Brown's time. We're crazy. And I love the way we got him involved. It just reminds me so much of how the Vikings get Justin Jefferson involved. They hide him, and it's just, you can't stop him. You know what he's doing, but you can't stop the guy. You're handing the ball off to him. So I guess that would be my 1 word, right? Because that was, or the 2 word, because it was his time, man. And things started to kind of come together, especially on the offensive end.
Yes. No, man, I love it. I love it. That's where, what's nice is I ask you first, and then it gives me time to think. So thank you for taking the fall.
You got a good word. You got something good.
I got some good. I would say emergence. You like that?
Okay.
No, dude. I think it really was a time of emergence for a lot of players, and specifically Amon-Ra St. Brown coming forth and showing his capabilities, showing what he's able to do. But really, I think for the team as a whole, we were emerging, like we were coming out of, it's as if we were shaking off the dust of the last 3 years of Patricia. It's like the Patricia era gave us a lingering, you ever see or read the Chronicles of Narnia? Yeah.
No, but I think I can think of what you're saying.
Bro, come on, man. You gotta read the Chronicles of Narnia. Come on. No, so like.
I think I've definitely seen the movie, but I haven't read it.
All right, so like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, all right. So like, remember how like the White Witch turns them all to stone, and then at the end, spoiler alert, they all are able to like come back from stone. I imagine that moment of them all waking up and like having to get the stone off and like creak out the arms. That was like the first 12 games for the Lions. It was us and these players really working out a lot of the crap, a lot of the pain, and the really the hurt that Patricia did to this organization, just trying to move away from it. And then in that game 12 is really where the Lions as a whole started looking like they were coming together, making plays. The coaching with these guys, there was a next level that we hit, and I feel like we finally got the stone off of our body.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's wild, man.
You had it all, man. I like that.
Yeah, and there's so many elements to this, because like Dr. Detroit, you are correct. It was the youngest team in the NFL. I think they might have been the second youngest, unless halfway through the season something changed. But we were definitely a very young club battling out there. And so for anybody just joining, I just want to let you know, I had some audio technical difficulties. Dose is on the call, but he does sound like, in the words of, I think, Dr. Detroit, maybe, he's on Apollo 13, so.
Hey, that's cool. I'll take that.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse.
So, 2021, I don't know about you, but man, did that season fly.
It did. Damn, don't they always, though? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just it's just too short, man. It really is.
Well, technically, this is my second year making Lions content throughout an actual season. So I'm not like fully used to it going that quickly, because I feel like I'm just so in it and like my mind is so deep in it that it was gone. It was here and gone.
It was super fast, man. I don't know. It just, especially this year, I think, because all the COVID, you don't know who's playing, and then there's a certain, it's definitely the middle part of the season where it's almost just like we're getting beat so bad they kind of just go together. You're not really in a playoff race, so you're like, every loss is just kind of stringing together. It's not like every week you're not really sure what's going to happen. And it's just the frustration kind of just got happening. So you weren't winning those games, but it always feels fast, man. I'm just enjoy every game because I know it's a very short season. I have a long time to talk about the draft. And it's going to be 8 months of an off season, and I love the off season, but it's just like I got to enjoy it, even if we're going to go out there and get blown out because it's just not long.
It's not long enough. I mean, I don't know about you, but like. Definitely, I follow very closely a secondary team being the Buffalo Bills because my brother's a huge Bills fan. So do you have a secondary team that you're like actually, that you watch, that you care about, maybe a family member loves?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I never did. It was always just whoever's playing the Packers. I hope they win. Look, I know some people don't like it, some people are cool with it. Personally, I've watched every Rams game this year. I think maybe I've missed 1 or 2, but it's just like, I always keep an eye on. Sometimes I check tabs on how other guys are doing that were former Lions.
Yeah.
But for that guy being our quarterback this whole time, I've never seen another quarterback, so it's like I'm gonna peek at it, just see how they do, see how it goes. And plus, we got so many connections with that team now, from players to staff. It's like, we're probably gonna pick someone off of that team in the next week. So the year has been the Rams for me. I'm going to be watching them throughout the playoffs and just see how they do. But I usually don't have the number 2 team.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, man, I do want to dig into Stafford for a second. But first, David McNamara said, screw you, Jay. Dion, you thinking Goff is our future QB? Or go after a QB in the draft? Our backups are junk. I don't know if you want to take that, man.
Wait, Dave, so you're saying you don't think Goff is our future? Is what you're saying?
That's what it sounds like David McNamara is saying.
Look, man, I think he could definitely be the future. And I just think it's something to get used to. Like I definitely don't I would never sit here and be like, oh, he's on Stafford's level, because he's not. I don't think he is. I just think it's different. He's still young. I have to keep that in mind. I know he's getting paid a lot. But I think what you need for Goff is just a different approach. I don't think the Lions are looking to throw the ball 40 times a game. Right. And I think we saw it when Campbell took over as the play caller. We started throwing. Did you know every game before the bye week we threw the ball at least 30 times, and after the bye week there was 3 games we only threw it. We threw it less than 30 times. We threw like 26, 25. Arizona threw 26 times.
It was like 26 multiple times.
It's not normal. Like, not in the NFL. People don't do that anymore. I think he can definitely be the guy because I think he can fit what they want. They want a guy sufficient. He can hit shots that are there, and they're going to play through the run game to take care of the football. And that's something I saw a huge improvement during the year, fumbling, taking care of the football. But I also think a lot of it with that, too. Like, we're talking about Ben Johnson and guys like that, but just the trust it felt like the quarterbacks had, even Boyle, too, but just knowing where the ball was going to go. There was less hesitation throwing before guys with on breaks that I didn't see early in the season. And I think we saw a sneak peek at you can win with him. He can be successful. But what you really need is to protect him. I mean, there's a lot of things that you need, but the most important thing will be protection, I believe, for him. Because we don't need the best receiver unit. We could use help. Yeah. And he did it with young guys in L.A., right? I mean, they had a whole bunch of new guys coming in L.A., and they found a lot of success. They went to a Super Bowl like that. But what he had was a top O-line when he was at his best. And I think the Lions continue to address it this offseason. So if you're going to build around him, you got to know who he is and what he's not good at. And I can tell you he's not good with pressure in his face because he just doesn't have the ability to escape the pocket. He doesn't have a big arm. But if you protect him, I think he can absolutely be the future within this offense. And then now I got to ask your thoughts on that. I have to.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Okay, first of all, huge shout out to DC 8091. Thank you for the donation. Very sweet of you, good sir. When it comes to, I find this interesting, lunch money's coming in here saying that you don't want to hear my anti-Goff propaganda. I don't know why you think I'm anti-Goff. I'm actually like Goff. And I've said it all season. I've been behind Goff. So don't think out there that I'm anti-Goff. I think Goff could actually have the future here. We know we have him through next year, and you really saw his emergence, if you will, in the back half, the last 5 games that he played in. And you're right, Dion, I wish we got to see him a few more games. I wish he hadn't gotten hurt because, I think he had more, especially after that Arizona game. Yeah, so I like Goff. All it comes down to is A, establish the run, B, protect him, and let him run play action.
Right. right there with you. Absolutely. And I just want to add something real quick. Like, we were breaking the season kind of into sections. And, like, that's what you need, right? You know what you need to have and be successful. You need to protect a guy. And I think we saw it throughout the season. We kind of saw when you took certain things away, things got ugly. But there were certain things that you could take away, and things didn't get extremely ugly, right? I mean,
Right.
for Goff, I definitely think he could be successful with the Lions, and he definitely could be the quarterback going forward. It's hard to find a quarterback. But I think he can definitely be the guy. And I kind of forgot a little bit what I was going to say, so I'm going to come back to that. So you go ahead. I'm trying to read comments, and I'm like, hold up. What was I going to say?
Oh, man.
Go ahead. My bad.
You're a legend. Oh, huge shout out to Lions fan 1 Paulie LFP. Thank you for the super chat, my guy. If Aaron Glenn should leave the Lions, hire Mike Zimmer to be the defensive coordinator. Lions fan Paulie, my guy, I'm just going to say it. I do not think that Glenn will be leaving unless there's breaking news in 8 seconds and I'm wrong. You can throw that in my face, but I don't think Glenn's going to leave. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for him to get his feet wet in the head coaching department with an interview. Goes out there, but Denver is interviewing a ton of guys. I think they had like 9 guys on the list. And so, I mean, I look at Glenn and what were his comments leaving the final presser. It was, I want to be the best coordinator that Detroit's ever seen. And I think give us one more year, Glenn, one more year, and people will hail you as such because what he was able to do with this defense, I want to see what he could do with Jeff Okudah. That's what I want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because, like, I look at Okudah as a guy who could be converted to a safety and play and be great. Now the problem is I don't want to jump the gun because he tore his ACL or whatever in the first game, so we didn't even get a full season of watching him and really being like, okay, can you be a DB or do we have to move you? So I just feel bad. I wish we had time to watch and observe Okudah and see him under Glenn.
100% with you there, 100%. And for me, man, I know you went to some camp days too. When I saw the guy at camp, I was like, he's the best. He looked like, to me, the best defensive player. He stood out as that guy. He stood out as the leader. Yeah. So I was pumped too to see him this year. I don't know the injury, that stuff that well, so I don't know what he's going to come back like. But the way I look at it, man, if he comes back the exact same guy I saw in last year's training camp, then I would be super excited to see him within his defense. So what Aubrey Pleasant, Aaron Glenn did with some UDFAs, come on, man. Don't give him the third pick in the draft.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. God, it's amazing what he did with the UDFAs. I think that's where there is so much success in this season. All right, so I want to... I'm sorry, guys, in the chat if I'm not going quick enough for you guys and grabbing some of your comments. So if I don't see it, just feel free. Hit it in there again. But Dion, my guy, whose name is not even Dion... am I supposed to say that? I feel like I wasn't supposed to say... I don't know. Okay. All right. Realistically, looking at 2022, if you had to give me a way too early prediction, what is the Lions' record standing today? Obviously, the draft hasn't happened. There's so much that can take place. But if you had to kind of just look at where we are right now and look at these teams, what's our record?
Right. I love the question, man. I do. Here's the one thing that I can't remember who I told this, but I'm like, the thing that I like about the way the Lions are building this is that, there's a lot of teams that are building the pass game, right? You're going to get pressure guys. If they get you on third down, you're going to have a problem, and they're built to pass the football. The thing is with the Lions, I feel like we're going to be built where it doesn't really matter who we play, because if you can't stop the run and we can stop your run, they're going to have a problem. And I think the Cardinals kind of ran into that a little bit, and I think there's going to be teams that are going to hit that next year. The one thing that I just hope the Lions do, and I believe definitely Brad Holmes will do it, is address some of these depth spots that they saw this year. Because it's just like, okay, I get it. You want to see if they can develop and improve, but I just want to make sure that we got depth. I don't want to go into next year being like, well, he didn't step up like we thought he would, but now we got to see him again, and we're struggling here. That's where I hope the Lions address. But right now, I'm going to go with my prediction from this year, because one thing I overlooked this year was depth. and I won't, and I can learn from that. I'm gonna stick with my 9-8 from last year, carry it over to this year. You know, I definitely think this team could be in a playoff hunt spot. Absolutely could have beat the Vikings. Definitely could have beat the Bears. You know, and now the Packers, we'll see what happens. But I know the Vikings and the Bears got a lot of craziness going on with their coaching staff. Except for the Vikings, I guess they just extended Kirk. So
Did they? Did they?
They did. Yeah, through 2026.
Oh my God! And that's, you know what? Great for us. That's great for us.
Got it for a long time, man.
Praise God. I was wondering what they were going to do. I was like, please don't move on from him. Because Kirk one day gets out there and he's a magic man. He's Mickey Mouse in Fantasia. And I'm like, you're incredible. And then the next day he comes out and he's the mop in that Fantasia movie. And you're like, you're terrible.
Right.
No, man, I think minimally, the Lions pull in 7 W's next year. My minimal this year was 5. I said optimistically we're going to win 7, but minimally we win 5. Obviously I was wrong. Looking at this year, 2022 coming up, I think minimally 7 wins. Optimistically, we are a 9-8 squad.
I like the sound of that, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I look in our division, we should win 2 games minimally, but we could split with everybody. From there, the NFC East, New York Giants, Washington. I mean, Philly this year ravaged us, but I think we can beat. I think we can beat Philly. I mean, they're not great. So like, it's any given Sunday. Then from there, the AFC East. I think we beat the Jets in Miami. The Pats are a toss-up. That's a 50-50.
Right.
Carolina, Seattle. Carolina's pretty garbo. And then there's the Jags.
The Jags are automatic dub. We're going to win 1 game next year, I believe.
And you know what's bad is they're sitting there and there's some fan who just looked at the schedule and they were like, yo, at least we're playing the Lions. Which I often think about. Like, I'm sitting here and I'll watch, like, I was watching my buddy's Jets. He's a Jets YouTuber. And I'm listening to him, and he's like, okay, well, we're playing these guys. He's like, oh, we're playing the Lions. Yeah, that's a W. And then they just, like, keep moving on. and I'm like, wow, all of us fans of low-tier teams look at each other, and the fans of each team will always say that about them.
That's true. That's true, man. You know, we should change it up a little bit, because this year we're beating the Cardinals and the Vikings, but we're losing to the Jets.
Yeah, so we might beat the Bills next year. Which would be
Yeah.
great. I'm going to that game, man.
Is that one going to be at home?
Yeah, it's at home. So I got my brother. I got a bunch of Bills buddies that are going to come out, and we're gonna go there. We're gonna go nuts.
That's sweet, man. Oh gosh, I'm already ready for next year. We can start now. Let's go, man.
I know. I'm with you, man. You and I got to go to 2 games together this year, and we didn't win either. So recipe for disaster, maybe.
Yep, the Bears one was tough, man. We find new ways, right? And I don't think I've seen a timeout thing like that before.
Wow, you just brought back some bad memories, man.
It is. I'm sorry.
All right, so let me ask you. This year we talked about what you would define as a successful season for 2021. Now looking at 2022, looking at next year, what is a successful season, do you think, for the Lions in the second year of the rebuild?
Yeah, I mean, I'll come in. I feel like I'm going to come in with expectations to be around 500. Like I'm not going to be cool next year if we go and win 5 games. Like unless something crazy happens, I'll be like, oh man, if we come out healthy next year and we win 5 games, that won't be to me okay. So I'll be looking at around the 500 mark to stay in this playoff contention, throughout the season. That's where I'll be looking. Successful. Look, one thing that I was going to bring up earlier, I completely forgot what I was going to say, but that I really liked about this year is we got to evaluate golf. I don't know what the Lions were going to do, honestly, up to the bye week when we played some of those games, because you got camera time, we can't evaluate golf, and your receivers missing assignment. But we were able to once we got some reinforcements, we got these coaching staff, and we got to see this offense, and they got to judge the guy. So Next year, I think they're going to put it, it's going to be big for golf. I think they're going to build around him this year, and it's going to be big for him. And he doesn't need to be crazy. He doesn't need to put up huge numbers. We just got to win football games. And I think as long as you're in the playoff conversation, week 16, week 17, right, we're not out of it, and we don't come out like 0-5 or something, I'm okay with that. So I'm not, my prediction, I went 9-8 early. And I would say successful for me would definitely be right there at the end, right there at the end where we got a shot to get in.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a successful season is playoff caliber. It's even if it's wild card. I think it's that fighting and that clawing to the very end where we are just we're in it to the very end where people are like, "Oh my God, the Lions might be in the playoffs." I think it's that playoff caliber that is necessary. Good question coming in from, I think it was Penultimate. Yes. Do you guys think we keep Kabinda? Now, this gets into getting into the free agency water. Getting into all of that is very difficult because of the numbers that go along with it. You got to be very aware of what the salary cap is, stuff like that. My question for you, Dion, if there were 3 free agents, unrestricted free agents, that you got to keep, don't worry about the numbers, don't worry about the money. You just look at them and you're like, I want these 3 guys in my locker room. Who are they?
Are you saying from the Lions or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. To keep on the Lions, 3 free agents.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, let me pull them up.
Hey, it's on. I got a list for me, man. First off, Tracy Walker, definitely. I think I really started liking Tracy, especially towards the end of the season. Just, I don't know. To me, he seemed like he was starting to take it up. We'll see what he gets paid this offseason. I don't think he gets paid like a top echelon safety. Some of those young guys. So I don't think he has the numbers there that will draw that interest. But definitely, Tracy is a guy I would love to bring back, pair him up with the safety this year, and go forward with those 2 starters. I really want to say Josh Reynolds. And I know you wanted this like, man, well, we can just get a replacement. He was cheap, and but I just love the way that what it brought to our offense, especially with Jared Goff. There's just a trust factor immediately. I think he upped his son. That doesn't mean he has to be a starter next year. I don't think he'll be paid that much, but I would love to have that guy back, especially if he is my backup, because then I know if I lose my starter and he comes in, I'm fine with that. And we could use some extra receiver depth right now. And then I want to say Charles Harris, because I feel like the Lions can't let that guy go after what he did this year.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're too loyal to the guys, right? He played too well this season. He bought in, and he played in every game. How many guys can we say that about that played every single week this year? I know it's not all in their control, but he showed up every week, sometimes didn't have a pass rusher across from him. And I think he benefited a little bit from that Vikings gig. But to me, Charles Harris, man, he's got to come back, right? I mean, he embodied everything. He's still young. 4 first-round pick, he had a career year with opportunity. So I would go with those 3. And if I think of anything cool, like some cool little name that nobody's thinking of, I'll say it after you go.
No, man, I love it. I love hearing your thoughts there. I mean, I just put out a video, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, about Tracy Walker. I think we should re-sign him. The money's the issue, but I mean, again, because Jamal Adams, he's making top-tier money, and he's making $17 million. And quite frankly, I don't think he's not that caliber, not yet. And then you have middle or like good safeties that are making $9 million. You're looking at Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer for the Bills, and I don't think he's their caliber either. So it really comes down to if he's willing to, re-sign for $4 million a year, 3, yeah, like you take him. The moment you hit that $5 million, that's where I start getting a little bit like, okay, well, who else are we trying to keep here, right? So if I could keep 3, it's Tracy Walker, it's Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
I like that. Chat's saying it too. I like that.
And I want Khalif Raymond back.
Oh, okay. You gotta explain the Khalif point.
All right. So listen, when I look at Khalif at the moment, all his versatility and what he's able to do with his speed and placement, Khalif Raymond to me was one of the best acquisitions that we made coming into this year. And maybe, just maybe, he was a specific 1-year need. If we let him go, I would definitely be bummed, but I would understand it. But when I look at our wide receiver room, I just think what he offers with his speed, how fast he is, his route running, all of it, his hands, he's a guy that he's always dependable. You can always count on him, and I love that out of him. Now, I know his size, he's small, but shoot, man, when I watch that guy play, I want him back.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I want so many of our free agents back, even like DC just threw in there Anzalone. Anzalone started out a little rocky, but he got into a groove. My boy started making plays.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Anzalone's definitely, he's probably my board because I was super hyped we got Anzalone this offseason. So.
Yes.
And you know what? To add to your Khalif one thing I like about Khalif, that dude will block. You know, like he's super reliable pass catcher, punt returner, but then he'll block too. You know, he's a little guy out there, and he's gonna hit somebody. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all grit, man. Even lunch money putting it well. Khalif is a grinder. Like, he literally gets out there and he grinds every day. I remember watching him in training camp, and I was like, bro, I love this guy. And I understand. No, he's not a wide receiver 1, obviously. He's not a wide receiver 2, but to have him as a solid, if he's willing to come back for small money, I keep him on the team because that guy gives it his all week in and week out.
Man, he was a killer in the training camp, man. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
He was nuts.
Yes, he was insane. He was so much fun to watch.
He really was. His route running was nasty. And I think Goff is better with bigger receivers. But, man, was he fun to watch. Yeah, he was awesome in the training camp. That's for sure.
Yeah. And penultimate, you're putting it well, man. Having a lot of difficult decisions to make, and it's a good problem to have. I agree. This is what you want. I mean, you want to have to make hard decisions. And truly, when you look at Brad Holmes, I do not envy the man.
I do. There's a lot of decisions. They signed so many 1-year deals. Man, we have like 30 guys that are not under contract next season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 34. Yeah. All right, man. So, okay, one last question, and then we're going to roll out of here. It's been awesome having you on the show. For those of you who are just joining, sorry about the audio, but hey, we're making it work. Matt Stafford. The Rams have their playoff game Monday against Arizona. And I gotta ask, where do you stand? Because there's two camps at the moment. There's the camp where people think that if Stafford wins a Super Bowl, Detroit wins a Super Bowl. People think that, I want to see his success. There's the element of his success is our success because he was ours for 12 years. And I'm not downplaying it, but then there's the other side of, hey man, I'm Lions first always, no matter what. We get better draft position with a Rams loss. Where do you find yourself? Do you find yourself in one or the other camp? Do you find yourself in a little bit of both? Like, where do you stand looking at Stafford in this game against Arizona?
Man, I didn't mean to go into this earlier, but I'm on the camp, man. I'm rooting for the guy. I am, and it's not even obviously, like we all love the Lions, but I do believe so much in if I have the right GM, the right staff. I'm not too worried about my pick because they'll get the guys and they'll get the most out of them. You know, I've seen the Lions have high picks and I've seen it not go well. I've seen guys leave, create, guys like this, like where things get ugly with the Patricia era and all that stuff. But I believe that I have the right general manager. Maybe he has to move a little bit, but if I have the right guy and I have the right coach, they'll make it work. They'll make it work. Because that to me is a sign of he's the right guy for us. I mean, if I'm giving you the second pick in the draft and we can't make that work, man, you're probably not a very good GM. You can't figure this thing out. So I believe in him. At the same time, I also am rooting for Stafford because I want him to get a playoff win big time here. I did, and I know we all did. But I'm going to root for him with the LA Rams. I think the way it ended was super ugly. It was unfortunate. But at the same time, I understood why he did it. I did because it was like, all right, I'm 33 years old. The Lions, and we see it now. Like we can see it. The Lions are kind of in we're kind of in a rebuild mode, right? So at 33 years old, does that make sense to go through it again? Not knowing what the outcome's going to be of it, does that make sense? And knowing he's got 2 years on the deal, I understand why he did it. And I was a huge Stafford guy, so I'm going to root for him this year. If they lose, cool, we get a higher pick. I'm down with that. But I also believe so much in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell that's like, they'll make it work. I believe they'll make it work with what they got.
Wow. No, I love it, dude. That's some solid points there, because I think even in the chat you can see everybody's got a different thought. We got somebody saying they want Matt to win. Somebody said Matt, Stafford's going to choke. Want the best pick available. It's going every which way, and I think, yeah, and like what's tough is, I wonder if for Stafford right now it's kind of hard because he might be looking over his shoulder and being like, oh shoot, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, like they're different, and he has an opportunity to go and win it all. But we all know that no matter what happens with Stafford, if the Lions if this turns around with Detroit, if Campbell and Holmes can make this rebuild work, and even if Stafford wins a Super Bowl with LA, I think he'll always have something in his heart where it's, I didn't do it in Detroit, and that's always going to hurt him forever.
I get it. Yeah.
So, like, go for it.
I was just going to say, I remember when he was first brought in and he was doing that, I saw his introductory presser with them, and he literally had Dan Campbell's intro speech on in the background.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, no, that's funny because it just goes to show you he cares about this city. He cares about what's happening here. And I think there's going to be a part of him where I think if Stafford stayed, this would have worked here, man. It would have worked for him.
I get what you're saying. I do. I got no hard feelings for him because I understand, like, again, with his age and what he was going to do. And,
yeah,
look, I think Campbell said he was going to end up keeping him around if he was going to stay. But at the same time, when you're kind of in this mode, like, who knows? Are the Lions going to say, all right, hey, we're going to go get a high quarterback, instead of putting all of our attention on we want to build with this guy?
Yeah.
Are they going to go take now a high quarterback? And I don't know if you want to be in that boat where it's like, dang, okay, they're drafting quarterbacks now, second round, first round, instead of really going in, and I'm not getting any younger. And if I wait 2 more years here through my contract, are the Rams really going to be the same interested that they were 2 years ago? You know, so it's like, I get why he did what he did. I really like the guy. But at the same time, I look at this for McVay, man. I mean, this guy went in, right? He went in, he traded, he's doing things with Von Miller. And to me, maybe it's just bias, but out of the Goff McVay situation, I feel like a lot of people point to Goff was bad, he wasn't good, and McVay is just mastermind. Well, what if McVay doesn't make it happen? And I understand he's a good coach, but it's just like he doesn't make it happen with Stafford, and all of a sudden you see Goff over here turning things around with Detroit. I mean, how is that going to look? It's like, hold up, this guy that wasn't good enough to get you over the top. And now he's working with Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes are starting to turn things around that no one's been able to ever do. No team, nobody has done this.
Yeah.
And you have this guy that you let go of, helping him turn it around. Like, I don't know. To me, it would be interesting. It's
fascinating. It really is. And I mean, I look at it, and I know I got got some hate for it, but it's what it is. I don't want the Rams to win. I don't want them to. And I'm with you. I trust Holmes no matter what. Let's say the Rams win, they go to the Super Bowl, they're number 32, and we get their 30. All right, sweet. No matter what, I'm trusting Holmes. I trust in him when it comes to the draft pick. I want him to have his best shot at picking who he wants. And in the end, as much as Stafford gave us everything that he had for for 12 years, I stand right now where I'm just like, I want whatever's going to be best for the Lions. As much as I liked Stafford and was like, all right, he's our guy. For me right now, I'm like, you're not a Lion. I'm moving on. It's like I don't want to be in love with that ex-girlfriend anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, man. Look, I had when this went out. I remember for weeks it was like, man, we can take that Stafford jersey down, and I got the Goff jersey. Like, I'm all in on this dude, man. I am. But, yeah, I mean, hey, I get it. I do understand completely both sides of it. Now, can I ask you a question? I've seen one pop up in the chat.
Okay.
So I may have to ask that. But I just want to get I know it's super early, but just where you're kind of feeling right now when it comes to the draft. When we're talking that 2 picks, I know you're feeling of where you would lean if you were the GM right now. I know this will definitely change by the time the draft starts.
Yeah.
But what you're looking at.
No.
You're leaning in trade back. You're leaning in the player.
I love it. Great question, dude. Yeah, when it comes to the draft, I was talking to my brother today, right? Bills fan, and he was like, oh, what number are you guys? You guys 1 or 2? And I told him we were 2, and he was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, that sucks. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of happy because Jacksonville has to make a real hard decision. And then we, by default, are just going to get the other guy unless we were to trade back. Right now, where it stands, I want to stay at number 2. But it also depends what are we offered. If somebody came up at the Giants, were like, hey, we want number 2, and I think the Giants are 5. If we were able to slide down to 5 and gain a little bit more capital, I'm open to it because, Dion, man, there's no QBs. I mean, this draft class, all in all, the best players to me are Hutchinson and Thibodeau. So, quite frankly, where I stand right now is if the offer's good enough, I'm willing to hear it. But I really like being at number 2 because I think we need an edge rusher. Coming into this year, that was my number one thought as the 21 season began was, I want an edge rusher, man. So whether it's KT or it's Hutchinson, I like both guys. They both offer a lot. They're about the same speed. KT, there is a certain violence about him that I really love. And so I'm definitely leaning towards him. What about you, man?
Well, hey, I was gonna, because I've seen this in the chat a lot. You know, you're talking edge rusher. So what does this mean for Trey Flowers? Do you see him coming back next year?
I do not see Flowers coming back.
Okay.
I do not. I think his time here is over. I think it was. I mean, the amount of money he was making, we had to keep him this year. Next year, though, I got to look at the exact numbers, but I think Flowers' time in Detroit is over.
Yeah, that makes sense then if you're talking edge, because this has been a weird thing that's popped up. We talked about bringing Charles Barrett back, and I've seen his market value sitting at $8 million. So, like, if say he hit a deal, let's say he hit a deal for $7 million a year. You know, let's just say on average, and you have Romeo, and now you drop the top edge rusher. Like you're paying a lot of money for a backup outside linebacker. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying it's just an interesting situation. I think that comes up.
No, you're right, and I absolutely agree. I think Flowers has got to go. I think we draft either Hutchinson or KT. You know, I know we got Batman here dropping $4.99. Thanks, my man. Lions ended the season perfectly. Ended with some good wins to get the locker room excited for growth, but enough to drop in the draft. Yeah, no, and you know what, Batman? There's a lot of people that are like, oh, is that good or bad? I like the momentum. I love the momentum heading into next season, saying, well, we're a winning club. Like our last couple games, beating Arizona, beating Green Bay, like that's what this club needed, saying, yeah, we're doing things right, and it's starting to pay off.
Yeah. I mean, how can you ever be upset being the Packers? Like, there's no situation today where I would be like, dang, you Packers. No, man. They can put whoever they want out there. They can have Matt LaFleur playing quarterback. And I want to beat that team so bad. I hate losing to them, man. I really do. And I know they got this streak, and I can't stand it. I like being every divisional team, but especially that Green Bay team, man. I don't know. It's just something about coming in, talking about when they're going to run their starters. They lock it to one team. The lead at halftime was the first stuff because it was like Rodgers played, y'all down at half. Now you go to your backup. No, I don't want y'all to speak out with the win here and feel good about yourself. Go home with the loss and take that momentum into the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I want. I want to stick it to Green Bay as they roll into the playoffs, and they're kind of scratching their head, and they're like, shoot, yo, he just lost to Detroit. Like, I want that to sting. I want that to feel. And I know Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but, man, if we can at least stick it to him a little bit as they head in, I'm all for it. And I just want that momentum moving in to the new season. But yeah, look, man, thank you for joining me. I don't want to take you any longer. This is probably the longest I've ever live streamed, to be honest. Hey, Debt Fat Man, I don't know if you're new to the live stream right now, but we've had some audio technical difficulties. So we got like 100 things running. I've got Dose on the phone while he's on the screen. It has been a wild evening. But I want to thank you all for hanging out, specifically Dose. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for making this work as we've been here. We will get this figured out one day. But dude, thanks for coming in. Thanks for recapping the 21 season and looking forward to the 2022 season with me, man.
Thank you for having me, man. And I like it, man. You're locked in. You got all the questions. It flows well. And I want to get you on our show for sure. So we're going to have to make that happen now that we're into the off season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You let me know when, and you know I'm there.
Okay. Sounds good.